Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos and on this current video I am going to give you my post-match reaction to the Manchester United Brighton Hove Albion game that ended Manchester United 3, Brighton Hove Albion 1 at Old Trafford. So this current victory does put us into 7th place. We are still 9 points behind top 4, and it's our 4th victory of the season in the Premier League. But I've got to credit Manchester United and that recently. I think analysing the last 6 or 7 games, we have seemed to really step up to the plate, and that we seem to be building momentum. There seems to be more confidence in the players. I think disregarding the Bournemouth defeat last week, I think we are doing really well in that now. But yeah, a very good result today. Obviously just watched some of the highlights of the game, and it was another good performance from Manchester United, and I think the actual performance replicated the game on Thursday night against Partizan Belgrade and that. So we'll get on with the goals in that. The first goal was from Andres Pereira. Obviously, I think Anthony Martial had got the assist. I think Anthony Martial in the game actually got 2 assists, but I thought today Andres Pereira had a really good game. We was actually 2-0 up within the first 20 minutes of the game. We went 2-0 up. It was an own goal from who was it? Davis something. I can't remember, but the second goal was an own goal. It was 2-0 at half time, but it could actually have been more than 3-1 today. We showed a lot of attacking intent. Where we created a lot of chances in the game. We showed them a lot of tenacity. We passed the ball well, and this is what we've been wanting to see. This season. From Manchester United and that. Obviously, prior to the game, we was 14th in the league, so obviously, it was a must-win game anywhere. In the second half, actually, Brighton had got back into the game. I think like the midway point of the second half, it was a goal from Lewis Dunk. I think Pascal Gross had got the assist, and that was 2-1. Then, we made it 3-1. Marcus Rashford, of course, had scored the third goal. Obviously, like I said, Anthony Martial had got the assist. But, I've got to credit Marcus Rashford because, he's done really well recently. He's actually, rejuvenated himself. I think he's done well in the last, you could say 3 or 4 games in a row now. I know I've been criticising Rashford, this season, reflects on his bad performances, but recently he has rejuvenated himself. But I did even say during Rashford's bad spell, I still said, he's a long-term solution for Manchester United and that, and he's only 22 years of age. Got to also credit Anthony Martial because, I think he's been absolutely fantastic, since he's recovered from injury, Anthony Martial. By the way, I just want to add into account as well, Rashford has now scored 54 goals for the football club in all competitions since he broke into the senior squad. He broke into the senior squad in 2016. Rashford has now made just under 200 appearances for the club in all competitions. But yeah, like I was saying about Martial, he hasn't quite emulated that level as yet, but I do believe, he will get to that level where he does want to be. And like I did mention anyway, he does add more inspiration in that attacking third of the pitch, and that. I think Martial scored around 2 or 3 goals already since his comeback. Didn't score today, but like I mentioned, he did provide 2 assists. But initially he enjoyed a good start to the season anyway, did Martial. Obviously, before he had sustained that thigh injury. By the way, today, Solskjaer did stick with a 4-2-3-1 formation like I thought he would have done. Obviously, we do know for the majority of this season though that 4-2-3-1 formation hasn't really been working in that. And don't forget, during that 4-game period, Solskjaer tried a few different elements. Obviously, he tried a couple of different formations. He went with 3 at the back. But to be quite fair, recently, we have showed them a lot of tactical flexibility. So I will credit Solskjaer for that because obviously for the vast majority of this season, a lot of Man United fans, including me, have been criticising, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics because obviously, he has been tactically naive for the majority of this season. That obviously, some of his substitutions have been questionable. But yeah, very good win today for Man United, and I think Solskjaer's come out and he's delighted with the with exhilarating Reds. Obviously he's also praised Fred for his performance, because I thought Fred was very very good today in our midfield and that. And I think you've got to say that Fred's had quite a few good games this season for Man United. I still don't know if he's a long term solution for Manchester United, Fred. But I think he's done well in a couple of games this season. Quite recently he has blended in alongside McTominay in our midfield fantastically well. I will agree on the aspect, that we did overpay for Fred. We paid just under £50 million to him last summer from Shakhtar Donetsk, and he's obviously on that list of one of our most expensive signings. But I do fully credit him today. McTominay wasn't bad. Obviously, McTominay was an injured out before the game, because obviously, he had sustained an injury in the 3-0 win against Partizan Belgrade, so he was a doubt before the game. But obviously, he did currently play, did McTominay, and he's deserved to keep his place in the team anywhere this season, reflecting on his impressive performances. He has been a first team regular as McTominay, but my overarching view is that they're not but two world class midfielders, but I do have the same perceptions regarding both players. I thought, defensively, we did really, really good today. You could say probably Brighton, had their moments in the game. They didn't really, impose much of a threat from what I saw anywhere on the highlights. They did have some chances, they didn't really register a lot of shots on target. I think, we actually, had around 11 shots on target in the game. But yeah, you've got to take into account, we're doing really, really well now, sorry, especially, reflects on the amount of injuries that Man United have got. I know, some players, obviously, are now obviously, back from injury and that, but, we have still got a lot of players out with injury. Don't forget, Luke Shaw still out with a hamstring injury, he's been a big miss. Obviously, we do know that, Matic is still out with a minor problem. He's initially lost his place now in the team anywhere. You've got Tuan Zebe still out with a hip injury. We've got Bay out till the end of the year. Fosu Mensah's still out. Diego Dalot is still out with injury. Pogba is out with injury until December, because as you all know, recently, Solskjaer had confirmed the extent of Paul Pogba's injury. So yeah, we have still got quite a lot of players out with injury and that. So anyway, with the injuries, we've had this season anyway, Solskjaer has had to make alterations in the squad. Lindelof did play today, there was talk saying, he may not have played today because obviously he missed the Partizan Belgrade game, because I think he had sustained a knock and that. But I think, anyway, Solskjaer did confirm after the international break, that, some more players, should be back from injury. So Shaw should be back, Matic, I presume, should be back, Tuan Zebe should be back and that. So more players, should, definitely, regain full fitness. As you all know, Brandon Williams played today as well. He made, I think that's now his fourth appearance, isn't it, this season for the football club. And I thought, he had another really, really good game, did Brandon Williams. He is only 19 years of age. And now a lot of Manchester United fans now do believe he's a better solution than Luke Shaw, despite the fact that Luke Shaw is our first choice left back. But Brandon Williams has done really, really well, for Man United. But yeah, like I said, today was his full debut for the football club. Obviously as well, Mason Greenwood, he came on in the game. I can't remember, who obviously, came on. I think Lingard came on, Mason Greenwood came on, and someone else also, came on. Mason Greenwood, like I said, I think he's one of the young upcoming players that will become a success at Manchester United. Definitely, I think this season now he's made around 8 or 9 substitute appearances for Man United in the Premier League. That is, obviously in the cup competitions, and that is obviously he's been starting regularly in them games and that. But these question marks around him. Why is he not yet starting Mason Greenwood from the start and that? I presume we're probably seeing Mason Greenwood as like a backup option to the likes of Rashford and Martial. But as you all know, Scholes recently give his overarching view on Mason Greenwood, and he believes eventually, as Mason Greenwood obviously develops, in that he will turn out to be a better goal scorer than Marcus Rashford. But he is only 18 years of age, so take that into account. Also, Young didn't play today because, as you all know, he was suspended, was Ashley Young, after he received his fifth booking in the 1-0 defeat to Bournemouth the other week. So he didn't play. And actually, Young's been playing on a regular basis this season, surprisingly, because obviously since the arrival of Wan-Bissaka, obviously he's initially, that means he's not first choice anymore. But maybe he's been playing Young on a regular basis, maybe due to the amount of injuries that Man United have had, especially with them full-back positions. But yeah, a very, very good win today. And, I did say, didn't I, on my recent videos, I think, our only route to Champions League football for next season is obviously to progress in the Europa League, because I'm still fully disregarding the top four and that, because we're 9 points behind top four. Obviously we are still in it, you could say, but I doubt very, very much. I think we could maybe finish sixth or fifth this season. I am convinced maybe that we can take over Arsenal, because I think we're sort of on the same level as Arsenal, probably slightly better at the moment. But yeah, I think, the only route to the Champions League is the Europa League. And I think, we've done actually, really, really well in the Europa League, to qualify to the knockout stages. We've still 2 games to spare. So we've won 3 games out of 4 in the Europa League. We've registered, 10 points from a possible 12 in, obviously, the Europa League. We'd also, don't forget, in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. So these some positives, you can take into account. And recently, we've been doing really, really well and that. And, but I think since the Liverpool game, prior to the Bournemouth defeat, we've really stepped up to the plate. The performance was really, really good against Liverpool at Old Trafford. We're the only team this season to take any points from them in the league. Liverpool winning comfortably today by 3-1 against Man City. I think now you could say City are out of the title race, so I don't think City are going to be winning the league this season. Obviously they've won it the last 2 times. They've won it twice in a row. They're looking to obviously win 3 back-to-back titles and that, to obviously match what we did back in 07, 08 and 09, because we won 3 titles on the trot. But I think if anyone's going to cause a threat to Liverpool this season, I think, it's going to be Leicester or Chelsea, because like I said as well, Chelsea have really rejuvenated themselves. Leicester beat Arsenal yesterday by 2-0. So they're now, I think, sitting second in the Premier League. They are sitting second in the Premier League. They are sitting second in the Premier League, Leicester. But yeah, so I think we could get a 6th or 5th this season. But I did say that there's still plenty of time in the season, for Manchester United to turn things around and that. And my perceptions still haven't really changed regarding Solskjaer and that. Just haven't really changed, because I don't think his long-term future for Man United and that. I can assure that he'll be at the club at the end of the season. But I can probably more than likely assure that that he will not see out his 3-year contract at Manchester United and that, because obviously we've enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season for 30 years. We actually are in a position now that we really shouldn't be in. Reflecting on the money that's been invested into the football club. Also with the size and potential of this club, we should be in much more of a commanding position. We should be at least obviously challenging for that top 4. And don't get me wrong, there's still time to do that. And I expected at the start of this season that I expected that us not to win the league this season or mount any kind of title challenge up, because obviously analysing our squad at the moment, it isn't good enough to do that, because obviously it's a long process. And I think our aspirations are going to be that top 4 in the next couple of seasons at least, because I don't think we're going to win the league for at least the next maybe 2, 3, maybe even 4 years, maybe even longer than that. It's all dependent on if we can get the right calibre players to Manchester United next year, and maybe if we could recommend someone in who's obviously got the right philosophy for the club and that, then maybe we can be future title contenders. But till then, definitely not. But I've got to praise Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now recently and that, and I think now with maybe reflecting on the last 2 results, especially 3-0 and 3-1, maybe the pressure will ease off Solskjaer quite a lot. Maybe he's still under some pressure. I'm not really. He's not maybe under intense pressure, but he's under still some kind of pressure in that. Obviously, reflecting on the 1-0 defeat to Bournemouth last week, after that game, probably the pressure would have been back on him. Obviously, reflecting back before the Liverpool game, Solskjaer was under intense pressure, as you all know. There was rumours about him, there was rumours about going on saying that obviously if we did obviously suffer a heavy defeat to Liverpool, that could have actually ended Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure at the football club. So you could arguably say, especially in that 4-game period, and overall until this point from the Liverpool game, you could say that's arguably saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure at the football club. So we will take that into account and that. But our recruitment has definitely got to improve in the next couple of windows at least, because analysing our recruitment, it's been very, very poor now for several years, and obviously that's maybe you could say it's due to our inconsistency for the last 6 or 7 years mainly. That blame also stems from the board, because I think the board are a liability, and they've been a liability for several years. And even though recently we have rejuvenated ourselves, I still believe we need to see a variety of changes at the football club. I think we need to get rid of our current board, because the board also didn't back Solskjaer enough during the summer. I think we also... I think we also, still need to get rid of more players. We still need to get rid of more players in that. I still probably believe another 5 players do need to leave the football club next year, despite the fact a lot of players have left since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival. And I still believe, Solskjaer, isn't good enough for Manchester United, and that, I hope I'm wrong. Obviously, saying that, but it's definitely, we need to see a variety of changes at the football club. Obviously, these still deficiencies in the squad that do need to be addressed. Don't get me wrong, because during the course of the summer, we didn't address all the problematic areas as I thought, maybe we should have done. But it was obviously going to be extremely difficult for us to address all the problematic areas during the course of the summer. So it was good during the summer that obviously we got that experienced centre half in. We also got that right back in and that. But I think, to be quite honest with you, we'll do the vast majority of our transfer business next summer. We'll look to probably sign at least 1 player in January or maybe 2. But I think, we'll do the vast majority of our transfer business next summer. And I think Solskjaer has been assured that he will be given money to spend in January. Because, it's going to take a long rebuilding process, and I did say from my own perception, I think we need at least 5 to 6 more signings, maybe even more, if we are to be back to being a competitive elite level football club. So I think we'll address some of the problematic areas in January, but we'll look to address more, next summer. So I did say, Man United need at least 1 midfielder. We probably need 2 central midfielders. We need to recruit a replacement for Ander Herrera. We also need at least 1 striker. We need someone to come in that can, bring that firing power up front, someone who can assure us goals, someone who obviously can create chances in that, and that's been an element of concern this season. For the majority of this season, that's been an element of concern. I know recently, we have been creating a lot of chances, and we have been scoring more goals recently, but, for the vast majority of this season, we have been struggling to create a chance, and this explains why, for the majority of this season, we haven't been scoring enough goals. But if we bring the right, striker in, then I think, that can, dramatically improve, because without a shadow of a doubt, there's still some aspects of our game, that we do need to improve on, basically. But there is a lot of players on our agenda, who we could obviously go in for next year anyway. And I think, Solskjaer does want to continue the policy of recruiting young British players, like he did do during the course of the summer. And obviously in that aspect, he replicates Ferguson, because obviously Ferguson did develop a lot of young players. Obviously, Solskjaer, wants to continue the policy of recruiting young players, like he actually did do during the course of the summer, because Solskjaer did recommend 3 good players to the squad during the summer, and they've all enjoyed fantastic starts to their Manchester United careers. James has settled in really, really well. Obviously, James played today. He was obviously, arrested, in the Partizan Belgrade game because obviously Solskjaer, obviously knew basically that he's been overplaying Daniel James. Daniel James obviously now has played 19 games this season. He's obviously, played 16 for Man United this season, so he has been a consistent starter. Still some aspects of his game that do need to improve in that. Maybe his crossing needs to improve. Maybe, his finishing maybe needs to improve, but you could still say he's still a prospect and he needs time to develop, does Daniel James. Quite a lot this season he's played on the right-hand side. A few times he's played on the left, but I think he's actually, played more on the right-hand side. As you know, Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka, and a lot of people now do believe he's been our most consistent signing this season as Wan-Bissaka. But I have been very, very impressive. And you can say as well that Harry Maguire has addressed our defensive deficiencies. I will agree on the aspects that we definitely overpaid for Harry Maguire. Because we paid £80 million for him. Obviously, he's the most expensive defender in the world. He's the second most expensive signing at the football club. But he has done really, really well. But yeah, but I did say anyway, there's some aspects of me, that do credit Solskjaer, and that there definitely is. He brought 3 good players in. He's also showed a lot of tactical flexibility recently. And he's got a lot of honesty about him as well, because he does know for the vast majority of this season, of what's obviously been going on. He's also got a lot of faith in his young upcoming players. I also want to take that into account. He has got a lot of trustworthy in his young upcoming players, and that I did say I think some of the young upcoming players will become a fruition at the club. I do believe some of them won't, so I've got some element of concerns about certain young upcoming players, but I can definitely assure that Mason Greenwood, Tuan Zebe, Brandon Williams, I think they'll all become successes at the football club, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt, but either way, Solskjaer's staying. Because obviously, if we decided to sack Solskjaer, whether it were just before Christmas or in May or next season, whatever, either way, it's still going to cost the club a substantial amount anyway to get rid of Solskjaer. We probably wouldn't have to pay probably as much as we did do, to get rid of Jose Mourinho, but obviously, we'd still have to pay something in compensation. But we will definitely stick with him for now. I think the only reason we've even during, when we was doing bad and that, because for the vast majority of this season we have been doing bad, but I think the only reason we've stuck with him because obviously he's a club legend and that he was a great long-serving player for Manchester United for 11 years. He basically flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance, and you could say Ferguson, transformed into a winner. But the board have softened their stance because obviously he was a club legend, but disregarding him being a club legend and that, he may have been sacked by now. You could arguably say that. But Solskjaer has got a 3-year contract, so if he is to see out his 3 years, I don't think he will, but if he was to see out his 3 years, that's probably enough time, to obviously, fix things at Manchester United, basically. But, Ed Woodward obviously, has got the same, same perception as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ed Woodward recently said, he insists 100% he's still back in Solskjaer. He's assured that his job is safe. And Solskjaer, still believes he's the right manager, to elevate Manchester United forward. I don't think his managerial credentials are good enough, because I did say I've been saying that on my a lot of my videos recently that he hasn't, got that managerial credentials, because he hasn't got that proven pedigree as a manager, not really to the highest level and that, because obviously before he was at Man United, he was at Mould, and Mould had a big team, before he was at Mould, he was at Cardiff, and, he had a really short tenure with Cardiff. He only managed around, 29 or 30 games for Cardiff, and then obviously, ended up getting the sats because he actually, got Cardiff relegated, and some Man United fans did fear, early on in the season that he could replicate Man United, what he did do with Cardiff, but, that's definitely not going to happen. I can assure that, we haven't been relegated since, 1974, and that's, obviously, over 40-odd years ago now. But yeah, Solskjaer hasn't really had a long tenure yet at the football club. He's only been here 11 months. He's been here just under a year and that. He's obviously, been the permanent manager for around 8 months now, and obviously for the vast majority of that 8 months he's endured a difficult time. But the question is now, regarding on the recent results especially, is this now the turning point? Is Solskjaer going to turn his managerial tenure around at Manchester United? But reflecting back when he was the interim manager, obviously I had different perceptions on Solskjaer then, because obviously I thought then he was the right man. The results were good in that 3 month period, the performances were good, and he exceeded expectations and that. And he won his first 8 games. Then he went and won 14 out of 19 in total. But for the majority of this 8 month period, we haven't replicated what we did in that 3 month period and that. But I still probably would definitely give him more time at the club, because he wouldn't solve a lot of problems anywhere. If we got rid of him now. And I do know there's obviously been a list of managers on our agenda, who could replace him at the club. I think one of the structural changes that we need at the club is getting a director of footballing. It was a shame that we didn't get that director of footballing during the course of the summer. Because there was quite a few former Man United players linked to that director's role during the course of the summer. There was talks of Ferdinand coming in, Darren Fletcher coming in, Patrice Evra, Darren Fletcher, and Rio Ferdinand coming in. Yeah, that's right. And obviously, I think Ed Woodward is still keen on getting a director of footballing and that. And obviously, as I mentioned to you, there was a lot of reports early on this week saying that Man United had travelled to Germany, obviously to meet up with Ralf Rangnick, who's obviously head of sport and development at Red Bull. I know that he's managed various German clubs and that, when he was younger. But there also talks about him possibly replacing Solskjaer. But obviously we do now know that's obviously now not going to happen. But yeah, I think if we are to get a director of football in anyway, we need someone who's obviously knows the traditions of the club, someone who's reliable to obviously our transfer business, because quite frankly Ed Woodward's not, and someone who's obviously got the right philosophy, to obviously bring the right players to Manchester United and that. So yeah, and don't forget, there was speculation about Edwin van der Sar the other week. Just want to add that into the equation. But yeah, there's been a couple of managers on our current agenda, but like I said, Solskjaer won't get sacked now. And I did say anyway, we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers. Solskjaer is our fourth permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. And we're not really known for the sacking club, but, we've already sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era. Obviously, David Moyes left after, 10 months. He only had a really short tenure with the football club. That's one mistake Ferguson ever made, and it's the only mistake he made, was obviously, recommending, David Moyes into Manchester United. Then, obviously, he got sacked. Then, obviously, Van Gaal came and he lasted, just over a year. He got sacked despite the fact he won the FA Cup. And obviously then we recommended Jose Mourinho when, Jose Mourinho endured a 2.5-year tenure at the club. He's actually the longest manager, we've had since the Alex Ferguson era. Mourinho won the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season there with Man United. And Mourinho spent a substantial amount at the club. He spent just under £400 million on players. So actually now, this current team, the majority of the team is actually Jose Mourinho's, and he can take into account as well now that Solskjaer is still inheriting the vast majority of them, so he's still basically in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team. And this is maybe one of the main factor reasons why some people are saying, we should still give him time, to see who else he can recommend in to the football club, because obviously Solskjaer, wants to bring players in who he thinks are going to fit the culture and the history of this football club. Obviously with Arsenal are obviously interested in recommending Jose Mourinho in anywhere, because obviously Emre is under intense pressure with Arsenal, because Arsenal have enjoyed a really bad start to the season, just like Man United have had, mainly just like Tottenham. They've also enjoyed a really bad start to this season of Tottenham, and obviously reflecting on that as well, Pochettino is under intense pressure. But do you think that Jose Mourinho would do a good job with Arsenal? Obviously, I think some Arsenal, a lot of, as well, should I say, the vast majority of Arsenal fans obviously now do believe that Wenger did a better job, than Emre. Obviously, Wenger had a 22-year tenure with Arsenal. Obviously, he's one of the longest-serving managers in English football. Well, was. Obviously the two longest-serving managers in English football, obviously, are Ferguson and Arsene Wenger. Ferguson was at Man United around 26 years and that. They both had good legacies. Obviously Wenger's his comparison to Ferguson's and that. But yeah, Wenger was at Arsenal 22. Yeah, you could say he enjoyed a good 12 years with Arsenal. Then after that, obviously, went all downhill for him, basically. But Unai Emery, he's only in his second era, now with Arsenal, second season, that is. And obviously, he's under serious pressure. But he said the other week, there was reports saying that, Mourinho had met up with Arsenal's head of football over the possibility of him, becoming Arsenal's next manager. Jose Mourinho, even though he's 2.5 year tenure didn't work out for him at Man United and that, he's still regarded as one of the best managers in the world. Reflect on, the success he's had. He's got a fantastic pedigree. He's proven in the Premier League as a manager and that. But in total, he's won 25 major honours as Jose Mourinho. I can't remember everything he won. I know he won about 3 titles with Chelsea. He also, like I said, won the Europa League and League Cup with us in his first season. He also won the Champions League with Porto and Inter Milan. But yeah, very, very good manager, overall. And I said as well, Man United have made several mistakes in the last 6 or 7 years, and we can say one of the mistakes was obviously giving Solskjaer the job. Ferguson made a mistake bringing Moyes in. I think we should have arguably brought Jose Mourinho in after the Ferguson era, and if we had done, got him in at an earlier point, then you could have maybe said it had been a different scenario with Manchester United and that. So I think it's very, very likely if Arsenal do sack Emery, which I do think they will, it won't be long now. I think, their next manager, will be Jose Mourinho, probably, without a shadow of a doubt and that, yeah. And, yeah. Also, there's been talks of obviously, Max Allegri, going to Arsenal. I don't think he will, though. Obviously, Max Allegri's been linked with the Bayern Munich job, because obviously the Bayern Munich job is vacant at the moment, as far as I'm aware, anywhere, because they recently, sat Niko Kovac, reflects on Bayern Munich's 5-1 defeat to Frankfurt and that. Max Allegri is no longer our primary candidate. He actually was our primary candidate, during the international break, was Max Allegri. Max Allegri, obviously, he's managerless. He resigned as Juventus manager at the end of last season. Obviously, he did enjoy a 5-year tenure with Juventus. Obviously, basically, so far spent the entirety of his managerial career in this area. Obviously, he started by small, and he started managing, managing small various Italian clubs. And then obviously, he emulated himself up, and he's been managing now, I think, for just over 16 years as Max Allegri. But he did say during the international break and that, he was actually in negotiations with Man United, He was in negotiations there with Man United, about, what salary he would earn if he was to be recommended in and that. Reportedly it says he wanted to bring Patrice Evra as one of his coaching staff, and he showed that he wanted to bring Mario Mandzukic and Emre Can with him and that, but, we probably maybe would have to pay something in compensation, maybe to recommend him in, but he's not going to come in now anywhere, so we're probably just best sticking with Solskjaer at this current present time. But I do feel sorry for him away, because I think, the club have put him in a very, very difficult position, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But, can Solskjaer bring the fear factor back to the football club? Can Solskjaer bring the winning mentality back to the club? And, none of that's been there since the Alex Ferguson era. And like I've said on my recent videos, that, regardless of who our manager is, we'll never, ever replicate what we did under Ferguson. Solskjaer, I can definitely assure, can't invoke Ferguson's legacy to save him at Manchester United. We can't. He can't do this and that. Taking into account though, Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years at Manchester United. He didn't win a thing in his first 4 years at the club, Ferguson. Obviously, we know back in the old generation, managers, did get the time there that they would like, but obviously, they don't get that time anymore. But, under Ferguson, we control the transfer policies, the contracts. Ferguson, like I mentioned, developed a lot of young players. Obviously, we won 38 trophies under the Ferguson era, so the vast majority of the two where we've won, obviously, came under Alex Ferguson. But we definitely know about the team that was under Ferguson. We've got to get used to it. We're not under the Ferguson era now. We haven't been under the Ferguson era now for nearly 7 years. Like I said to you, this is a different. This is a different era, with different groups and different players, of course, that we are building. This isn't, this isn't Ferguson's team now. There's only a couple of players in now from the Ferguson era and that. But I obviously want this team, to replicate what the team did under Ferguson, especially what they achieved and that. But I know obviously that's not going to happen. But yeah, so like I updated you on my video that I did this morning and that, I was reading a report. So this is some transfer news, by the way, while I updated you this morning, but I'll just reiterate it again. It said yesterday that Man United are prepared to bid around £42 million for Christian Eriksen in January. So he's one of the players on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's agenda. I think Solskjaer's got around 5 or 6 players on his agenda who he's interested in recommending into the club next year. Ed Woodward, of course, is aware of this. But reportedly we've held negotiations with Christian Eriksen over the potential January transfer. I still believe his preference is to obviously maybe go to Real Madrid. We was in for Eriksen during the summer. We actually ended talks of getting the pursuit of the player towards the back end of the summer transfer window because we felt as though that his preference was to make a move to Real Madrid. Tottenham do know how much of an imperative player that Christian Eriksen is. So I think there would be they obviously think it would be beneficial to cash in for Eriksen in January rather than letting go on a free transfer at the end of the season, because obviously he's just got over 6 months I think left on his current contract. But I do believe that Christian Eriksen would be the right calibre player for Man United. He's predominantly an attacking midfielder. He's 27 years of age, so he has still got a lot of development in him. He's well Premier League proven. He's been a long-serving player for Tottenham. He is now into his 6th season with Tottenham, is Christian Eriksen. 7th season, sorry, should I say, because he's been at Tottenham since 2013. Tottenham got him for around just over £11 million. So he actually was a cheaper solution, was Eriksen. But yeah, he's one of the players on our current agenda, and hopefully we could get him. But like I did say to you recently, Daniel Levy's a hard negotiator, so he's very, very stubborn when it comes to teams, getting the pursuit of, their players or going for, their managers and that. He's a really, really hard negotiator, is Daniel Levy, and it's hard to, persuade him to currently do things. But yeah, Eriksen is on our agenda, and I think for Tottenham, he's not far away now from making, 300 odd appearances for them in all competitions. So that's one player on our agenda. Obviously, I think it's very, very probable that we're going to sign Mario Mandzukic in January. I think that's definitely not going to happen. The good news is that, he's a cheap solution. We only have to pay around £9 or £10 million for Mario Mandzukic. He's a good goal scorer. And I think he'll be a good replacement for Lukaku. Obviously, he's a long-term replacement for Lukaku. Obviously, reflects on his age, and that's the only element of concern I've got about us recommending him in is his age, because Mario Mandzukic is now 33. He's only got a couple of years left in his footballing career. You could say that. But I think if he comes to Man United, he can replicate, what he's done during his time with Juventus, because now he's into his 5th season with Juventus. But I think it did confirm the other week, should I say, that Mario Mandzukic had, slashed his wage demands in half from 300 grand a week to 150 grand a week in order to make the move to Man United. But he is, like I said, he's 33. I think we're prepared to give him around an 18-month contract. But yeah, so I think he's actually going to be our first signing in January, or could be our first signing in January. Probably is going to more than likely going to be our 4th signing under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. But yeah. And, Moussa Dembele is another player on our current agenda. I think Solskjaer said said not too long ago that if we get the transfer completed for Mario Mandzukic, he obviously wants to bring another forward in, and I think Moussa Dembele again, he would be the right caliber player for the football club, and I think the beneficial thing about recommending him in is that he's obviously got experience of playing in the Premier League. Obviously, he began his senior career with Fulham, and he did really really well with Fulham. Then went and enjoyed a good couple of years in Scotland with Celtic, and he's now doing currently well with Lyon. He's in his second season with Lyon, and I think if he comes to Man United, he can replicate what he's done at them teams. Lyon only paid around £20 million for him from Celtic last summer. He is an out-and-out number 9. Which is obviously very, very good. And he's still got quite a few years left on his contract with Lyon. He is only 23 years of age, but definitely would be the right player for the club. Jadon Sancho, he still remains on our current agenda. We are aware, if we are to go back in for him next year, he will cost the club a substantial amount of money. Jadon Sancho. We identified him as our priority target back in January, but obviously now, due to our failed to qualify for the Champions League, I think our move got skewed for the player. Borussia Dortmund, taking into account though, got Jadon Sancho for next to no, basically. They paid only about £8 million for him, but reflect on his impressive performances in the last couple of years with Dortmund. His valuation has persistently grown, and this is now his third current season with Borussia Dortmund. He's still under contract with them till 2022. The reason he left Man City is because obviously he didn't get assured enough first team opportunities. He had a couple of years with City, then obviously left Man City. He's only 19 years of age, predominantly a right winger, and again he would be the right caliber player for Man United, would Jadon Sancho. But definitely would have to pay around £100 million for the player. Obviously, we could possibly we back in for Bruno Fernandes. He was actually our main priority target during the summer was Bruno Fernandes. But obviously, we couldn't get him because we couldn't come to an agreement on a fee. With Sporting Lisbon, but possibly we could reignite our interest in him next year. So there is a lot of players on our current agenda and that. But I do believe, like I said, the players that need to go, I think next year, Young needs to be moved on, because he's now past his sell-by date at the football club as Ashley Young. He's 34, he's 35 next year, being a long-serving player with the club because, he's now into his 9th season as a Man United player, is Ashley Young. He's been here 8 years. Jones, another one of the problematic players. I think it was a mistake for Man United last season, giving Jones a new long-term contract. He's been here more or less the same amount of time as Ashley Young. Matic is definitely one of the problematic players. He also needs to be moved on. He's 31 years of age. He's too slow, makes that midfield look totally imbalanced, and he hasn't literally lost his place now in the team anywhere to Scott McTominay. Where's Matic? He's now into his 3rd season as a Man United player. Comes to an end of his current contract term at the end of the season, so I think we could try and cash in for him in January. Some people say, we need to move Jesse Lingard on now because he's enjoyed a really difficult time this season, and reflect on his status at the football club, he should be putting much more better performances out. Rojo, I think Man United have confirmed, and Solskjaer's also confirmed that we're preventing him from leaving the club in January because he wasn't far away from, he was actually close, should I say, from, he was close to leaving the club during the summer. Everton nearly got him, but they didn't. We put around, obviously, a £25 million valuation on him, but still some Man United fans do say that, we need to get rid of Rojo next year because despite, we've still got a lot of centre-halves in the team. Rojo's versatile, so I do credit him for that, so he can play in various other positions. But Everton could possibly reignite their interest next year in Rojo and that. So that's mainly everything to update you with. Just wanted to give you a match reaction for the Man United Brighton game, winning comfortably by 3-1. We are now 7th in the league, so that's really really good. 14th and 7th, is a huge step. Yeah. Some people say today Pereira was poor. I thought what I saw he did okay. Obviously got the first goal for us, that's good. But would still give him more time at the football club. Like I said, night's the international break. Next game is Sheffield United, which is obviously after the international break, and yeah, and that's going to be a tough game because Sheffield United have, enjoyed a good start to this season and that. So, we really, really need to, play well in that game. But yeah, so anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribe to my channel, as always, don't forget my channel name is Charlie Davenport. So you type that in and you're not subscribed, you will find me in that. So take care, God bless you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.